Posted by you/C++ 2017. I previously deleted the post just to be safe, but here's a summary. After I, 27M, earned a degree in computer science, my brother, 41M, and his two partners recruited me to work for them during the summer. They wanted me to set up the infrastructure for their new company in finance and investments. One summer turned into 2 years of unpaid work as a secretary, receptionist, systems technician, personal assistant, accountant, and research analyst. They paid me about 4 or 5 times, totaling around $7,000 to $8,000 over 2 years. When I left to start grad school, they were upset that I wouldn't stay. Later, when I finished grad school and included them on my resume, they lied to prospective employers about me. They denied that I had worked for them and claimed I was trying to use my brother's name to get ahead. They even accused me of visiting their office and sexually harassing female employees who didn't even exist. When I called them to confront them about it, they, including my brother, just laughed and said I was getting what I deserved. It was kind of like, that's what you get when you screw with us. My counselor, along with some other people from school, including my headhunter, helped me get a job. However, I had to sue my brother and his partners for slander and other issues. When they were served, my brother called to laugh about the lawsuit, but now they're scared. My brother has been using my dad to pressure me into dropping the lawsuit and sitting down with them to work something out. My dad dismissed the situation as just a little big brother bullying little brother nonsense and demanded that I drop the lawsuit. He and my mom even uninvited me from Thanksgiving at their house. My mom has mostly tried to stay out of it, but I could tell this has been really hard for her. There's very little to update legally regarding the lawsuit, but I had a laptop containing lists of clients that my brother and his partners stole from their previous employers before starting their company. I initially hesitated to turn those files over to my attorney because things are already bad enough for them. However, my girlfriend strongly disagreed. She thinks I should just let them face the consequences and crush them. On the 9th, I called my attorney, informed him about the files, and dropped them off at his firm. The next day, on the 10th, I got an urgent call from his firm asking me to come in immediately. When I arrived, my attorney explained that the files would be turned over to the U.S. Attorney's office, meaning it's out of our hands now. He also brought up my parents. He had spoken to my dad and described him as a world-class prick. My attorney told me they plan to subpoena both of my parents to testify at a deposition and likely a trial if it gets that far. He advised me to prepare myself for what my parents might say about me. He made it clear that there's no turning back now. Since I didn't pay anything for my attorney to take this case, his firm is heavily financially invested, so they're essentially calling the shots at this point. I think my attorney believes I'm weak or that I'll want to back off or go easy on my family. He even told me outright that he knows my family will weaken me. I think he underestimates me. Regardless, he advised me to brace myself for the heat my dad will bring. I told him I have 2 older sisters on my side and that my mother is mostly neutral. He assured me, though, that my mother is absolutely not neutral. He just told me to prepare for anything. Then I got phone calls from both of my sisters, who live about 300 miles away. They were disgusted with my dad's and my brother's behavior and had initially told me they were 100% behind me. However, now they've uninvited my girlfriend and me from seeing them and their children this Christmas. They said they love me but believe I need to back off the lawsuit. This was a bit of a shock. It didn't crush me, but it wasn't easy to hear. They told me they won't be contacting me anymore, and they asked me not to contact them either, saying they have their reasons. They both cried during the calls, but I stayed calm. They also emailed my girlfriend to let her know that we were uninvited from their homes for Christmas. In response, my girlfriend sent them a very scathing reply. While I wish she hadn't sent it, it's ultimately her decision how she handles the situation. Things with my dad are getting a little out of control. He confronted my girlfriend and me outside the house of a family friend who had invited us over for a holiday get-together on Sunday night. The situation got heated, and I said some things that were probably below the belt. I could tell they affected him, his eyes watered, and he was trying not to cry. Then my girlfriend jumped in and laid into him, much like she did with my sisters. She's clearly on a roll right now, and the gloves have come off for her. My mom stayed in my dad's truck the whole time, just watching. I don't think she could hear what was being said. For now, there's nothing else happening, but the tension is definitely high. Oh, one other thing, my attorney told me that my brother and his partners have already closed their business. They went under. They've also filed some puzzling and contradictory responses to our lawsuit, which surprises me because my brother is usually smarter than that. Now they've changed attorneys and retained a reputable firm. The first thing their new attorneys did was ask what it would take to settle. My attorney says their new lawyers are smart and know it will be a bloodbath if this goes to court. I guess I'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. Some of you have commented from experience that the blowback from legal battles like this can tear families apart for decades. I can already see how that happens, and it probably will. Edit. Some of you have asked why my sisters changed their minds. I now know that my dad helped both of them buy their houses, and they still owe him a lot of money for that. My best guess is that he used that, and possibly other things, to coerce them into taking his side.
Update 4.5 months later. Okay, let me begin by saying that I am not the original poster. I am his girlfriend. We live together, and I read the update post. My boyfriend is moving on and wasn't going to post a final update, so I asked if I could, and he said yes. Things have wrapped up. They signed a settlement agreement, and now it's up to the judge to approve it. The judge won't do that for another 2 weeks, but apparently, it's a formality. It's a sure thing he'll approve it, or so the attorneys say. As for the settlement, I can't really disclose much, but I can say that it's close to what my boyfriend was suing for in terms of the monetary figure. They had transferred their houses to their wives' names, which are in the process of being sold to pay off the settlement. The settlement included a written apology and complete admission of guilt from all 3 of the defendants. They also have to write apology letters and retractions to all the employers that refused to hire my boyfriend based on their slander against him. I think there were 4 companies in total. All 3 of them had their licenses revoked and will never work as financial advisors again in any state, apparently. They will also face a criminal investigation due to some forged signatures on some of the deals they made, which will likely lead to convictions but probably no jail time, according to the experts. Financially, they are beyond ruined, which is what I thought they deserved the whole time. I know my boyfriend regrets this whole thing, and I understand that. It's still his family, and they were close at some point. I think he's better off without them anyway, but that's easy for me to say. His parents are totally a lost cause. I don't think there will be a reconciliation in this lifetime after what's happened. I thought my boyfriend would be open to one when the dust settled, but now I don't. During the mediation hearings, his mom and dad both testified. They both lied, but I knew his crooked dad would. I was shocked that the mother lied about there having been a verbal agreement that my boyfriend would work for his brother's company in exchange for room and board at the parents' house, and that the dad had also been paying him in cash for working. She claimed she witnessed my boyfriend refusing payment from his brother many times. She lied about a lot of other very hurtful things right there while my boyfriend sat and watched her. She never looked at him, not once. His dad never looked at him either, but at least he sat there the whole time after he testified to support his older son and his friends. His mother left the room crying after she testified. I was not shocked that she testified because the attorney had said she might, but I was extremely shocked by the horrible things she said about my boyfriend. She will someday regret doing that to her son. Such an awful, revolting, and repulsive thing she did. What she did to her youngest son is inexcusable. I was beyond utterly disgusted that she did that. She really has no clue how much damage she caused to her youngest son. I doubt he'll ever get over it, and I doubt he will ever want to see her again. Not to rant about the mother, but she lied and said disgusting things about her youngest son, and he's the only good son she has. He's the only one who doesn't owe his dad anything. He's the only one with compassion and high morals, the only one who constantly worried about her and kept in touch with her. She messed up in the most disgusting way. How could she do that? He was there for her more than her other 3 kids put together. All for a lawsuit that she had to know they were going to lose. Her testimony did nothing to help their case, nothing. She testified for absolutely no reason. We sent Christmas gifts to my boyfriend's sisters and their daughters, and we received thank you cards in return. They haven't contacted my boyfriend since, but I have received a couple of hello emails from one of them. She never mentions my boyfriend or the family problems, she just says hello and asks how I'm doing. I just respond by saying we are both good and hope they are all doing well. I'm not sure where this will go, but it's a small step on what seems like a long road before they are allowed by their father to reconcile with their brother, or until they have the courage to do so without their dad's blessing. I think they are both too embarrassed to contact my boyfriend directly. I can sense that they are trying to find a way that will eventually lead them to him. I think they just need to contact him, but that's not my decision. I keep looking at this from my perspective. My family is really close, so it's hard to watch what's going on with his family. I just think, what the hell? Why do you do this to each other? But that's just how it is. Just to be clear, I knew very early on that my boyfriend's parents were toxic. I initially just wanted him to cut all ties with them. The way they sided with the older brother, knowing how he tried to destroy his own little brother's career, told me a lot. I wished back then that my boyfriend would just disown them, but I knew that was unrealistic at the time. I knew I was emotional, and I backed off when I saw how stressed my boyfriend was. But things escalated, and now I think my boyfriend's mom has dealt a death blow to any chance of reconciliation. I'm not just saying that because I'm against it. I'm not for it, and I'm disgusted with her. But I can see the damage she did up close. I'm afraid he may never forgive her. She just went overboard in such a horrible way. I have been talking to my dad about this the whole time, and everything has turned out exactly the way he said it would. Everybody, all parties, are destroyed. It's like a bomb went off, and everybody got hit.